Good Monday evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on FSU Weather. I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm Donovan Wiseman. Casey, we had some really high temperatures today, isn't that right?
Absolutely. Very warm. In fact, we were just 1 degree short of a record high temperature at the Tallahassee Regional Airport. We got up to 88 degrees. The record was 89 degrees, which was set back in 1984, but we didn't quite hit that mark.
No, we were very close, like you said, 1 degree. It wasn't very humid outside. We had low dew points, low relative humidity percentages. But that's crazy to think that we were almost at 90 degrees today. Up where I'm originally from, they had frost last week in Asheville, North Carolina, up around Boone. So, and we're just like completely polar opposites, just a few thousand miles away. So that's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a few days ago, we were a little bit on the cool side around here. Just kind of a back and forth, warmer than cool weather pattern. The average for this time of year is only 78 degrees, so or at least 10 degrees above average.
Man, I mean, that's a pretty big leap above average, and we're expecting to see maybe some warmer temperatures throughout the week. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Going to see temperatures warming up a little bit, but then cooling back down as we have a cool front approaching our area. So it could get a little cool. Might have to bring back those jackets again, walking around campus, things like that here in the Big Bend region, and also southwest Georgia as well.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be running all through our closets this week with these changing temperatures. And just to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the area and actually around the country, let's send it out to Paxton to talk a little bit more about that. Paxton, what's going on?
Thank you, guys. Well, what's going on right now is nothing. It's just sunny, which is great. Currently, it is 85. Dew points are 56. So those dew points are creeping back up, and they will continue to creep back up into those upper 50, low 60s going into tomorrow. And our humidity is at 37%. So it's still low, but that will also be increasing tomorrow and into Wednesday. Satellite radar is showing that there's nothing going on in Florida. It's just clear. Clouds are to a minimum. And as we zoom in into our local area, it's also clear as well. So again, there's no clouds, there's nothing going on in our area, which is very nice for us. We all like when it's sunny. So going in for the rest of the week, it's going to be a foggy start for the morning, a shower or two Wednesday night, and it's going to be chilly this weekend as well. So like Donovan and Casey were saying, you're going to have to keep going into your closet to get a change of clothes because this weather is not consistent. But we'll get more on about all this weather and its changes in just a little bit. But we're going to send this back on over to the desk.
All right, thanks, Paxton. Well, we were talking about those higher temperatures. We have a few sporting events here in Tallahassee. Of course, we're a football school here at FSU. What about that game up in Louisville? What's the weather going to be like up there?
Well, we're going to see temperatures a little bit on the cool side for that game that starts at 7:30 Thursday night. Temperatures around kickoff expected to be in the mid-50s, but by the end of the game, cooling down upper 40s and even maybe a chance of rain as well.
Yeah, that's going to be, that could pose, a challenge for our guys because we're used to this warmer weather. Like we're talking about almost 90 degrees here in Tallahassee. So those guys up in Louisville might have a little bit of an upper hand on us as far as playing in those conditions. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll get the win. But talking now about the World Series forecast, we've seen conditions a little cool there in Kansas City. But right now we'll go ahead and take it over to that first local forecast with Paxton.
I'm back, guys. So currently it is 85. Nothing has changed within these past 60 seconds, and we are still clear outside. So again, nothing has changed in that much of a little small time increment. However, on our water vapor, you can see that down in the south, we have all this dry air. And in Tallahassee, we could see that the moisture is starting to come back into our area. So we don't have those nice dry air that we had this past weekend. It's actually getting a little bit more muggy and sticky, and that you will definitely notice that tomorrow and Wednesday, as well as this little cold front sweeps through into our area going into Wednesday night, along with this low pressure system that's just going to be going off into the East Coast, and it's going to be bringing all these sunny skies into our area as well once it passes. Before it passes, it's going to bring some rain on Tuesday. It's just going to be just west of us, and it's just going to be moving nice and slow into our area Wednesday morning and into Thursday morning as well, bringing in those showers for the Wednesday night. So if you go out Wednesday night, make sure you have your raincoats and your umbrellas as well. Again, satellite radar is showing nothing. We did have a few clouds here and there earlier this afternoon, but those have cleared up and they have dissipated. So right now it's nice and sunny, and it's going to be clear going into tonight as well. For tonight, it's going to be 55. We're going to have clear skies. It's going to be nice and beautiful. Great night to go stargazing if that's your thing, if you like to do that. by all means go do it because it's fantastic. The weather is chilly, but it's not too chilly. So all you need is just a light little jacket, nothing too much compared to those winter coats that you might need this weekend when we're in the 40s. Because I don't know about you guys, I don't like the cold at all. I like 86, like for tomorrow. It's going to be a little foggy in the morning though, so if you're driving, just be aware, have your fog lights on, just drive cautiously. And it's going to be sunny with only a 10% chance of rain as well. So it's going to be a beautiful day yet again tomorrow. Just a little hotter than what we are used to for this time of year. Looking at the 7-day, we have 86 Tuesday, 84 Wednesday, and then going through the week, we're in the 70s. So you can see that once our cold front passes Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we drop down in temperatures, and then you can see that on Friday, we are at 48 degrees. So you're going to need those jackets and those scarves perhaps too if you're going out for Halloween. But we're going to hand this on over to the desk for a little bit more. Actually, we're going to hand this on over to Casey instead.
Thanks so much, Paxton. Let's go ahead and take a look at those current conditions across the southeast. We do see right now sitting a little on the warm side, as I was talking about with Donovan, 83 degrees here in the metro area. But up to the north and west, we're a little bit warmer, actually, even 85 degrees up toward Montgomery. But as we get into areas of Arkansas and also Louisiana, we're sitting in the 80s, solid 80s in Little Rock, Shreveport, and New Orleans at this hour. Now, current relative humidity does show 40% here. It's a little bit on a lower side of stickiness, and that's keeping the temperatures to feel a little bit better here across the Big Bend region. So that's some good news. Really nice conditions here across our region because of a low humidity level, keeping those temperatures feeling a little bit nicer. Now, water vapor imagery, that shows this dry air, and that's what's keeping these temperatures a little bit nicer, and also the weather a little bit nicer. Really clear conditions over the Big Bend region indicated in this brown color, that's dry air here over Leon County and the rest of the Big Bend region and southwest Georgia. Really just a nice day here. Now tomorrow, as we've been mentioning, you have to watch out for some fog in the morning hours though. But again, really nice conditions on the Doppler radar. No clouds really anywhere in the state of Florida. Maybe a few high-level clouds over to central Florida, but really hard to even see on the satellite imagery, and really hard to see any precipitation in the southeast on the radar. Just really nice conditions. But now, we do see Futurecast does show a little bit of a change coming to our forecast as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday as well. A cool front is coming from northwestern Louisiana, talking about areas around Alexandria to Little Rock, Arkansas as well. And that's going to make its way closer toward our area on our Tuesday as we continue to see sunny skies around here. That these conditions will get a little bit more gloomy out to our west and a little cooler as well as this cool front continues its march toward us. We do see as we get later into Wednesday, later into Tuesday night as well, these conditions will become a little bit cooler toward our north and west, and we'll have a little bit of precipitation as well starting to make its way into our area. Now on Wednesday, again, we'll keep an eye for a chance of some showers as we get into later on Wednesday as well. That cool front kind of starting to impact our weather and make it a little bit more on the gloomy side, at least for a little bit before we see cooler conditions and nicer weather ahead. 53 tonight here in the metro area. Tomorrow warming back up, relatively warm, 87 degrees, but tomorrow night cooling back down again. We'll be seeing the mid-50s here in the metro area, and those temperatures to our north and west a little bit cooler, 51 out toward areas around Little Rock here, Donovan.
Man, it's getting a little bit cooler for tonight, but again, we've stayed really warm today. We're going to get a cool down. We talked a little bit what's going on this week here as far as sports goes. Let's talk about next week after Halloween. Of course, we're going to keep you updated as far as that goes all week. What do we have coming up here in the next week? We know on Sunday we have a pumpkin chunk in Railroad Square. A few more things going on next week.
Right after the North Florida Fair on November 6th. That's going to be occurring at the Tallahassee Fairgrounds, Leon County Fairgrounds, in fact. So that'll be great. It'll be going on for a couple weeks there, and hopefully we'll see nice conditions for that, but a little too early to nail down the forecast for that event.
Right, absolutely. Of course, a couple of days after that, we have opening nights here for FSU. They put on some great music events. That's going to be at Westminster Oaks, Sierra Hole. And then also we have Powwow next week.
That's right, as we start to get toward homecoming festivities. Again, too early to nail down the forecast, but right now, for a national look at the weather situation, here's Paxton.
Thank you again, guys. Currently, we are mild in the southeast, and if you look in the northwest, that's where all the cool temperatures are, and that's associated with that cold front that just passed that area not too long ago. So their temperatures are dropping, and our temperatures will be dropping going into Thursday. So right now we have to bear with these hot temperatures again for another day. For a 24-hour temperature change, you can see Denver is 29-degree difference between this time yesterday and today, and that is because of that cold front. So they're definitely feeling the cooler temperatures. And as we look into the southeast, nothing much. New Orleans is a 2-degree difference, nothing so significant. If you look at Atlanta and in Miami down south, you can see that their temperature changes is very slim to none. On satellite, you can see that the front is just in this area right here. You can see the clouds associated with it in the little pocket of dry air behind it as well, and that's where there's no clouds because there's no moisture for these clouds to develop when you have a front. And with the winds, you can see that the front is just in this area right here because you can see all the winds. They are shifted right behind the front, but as you go in front of the front, you can see that these winds are southerly, so the front has not got to that area yet, and those winds will begin to shift as the front comes closer to our area. So just be on the lookout for that. If you see the wind shifting, you know that front is coming closer to us. You can all these storms associated in Michigan and Wisconsin. These are storms associated with the front, and they will be clearing up as the front passes. Looking at the satellite and radar, again, here's these storms associated with this front. All the way in Missouri has some cloud cover as well in that area. And as we take this back up to Michigan and Wisconsin, you can see that these storms, they have quite a bit of rain going up there, but nothing too much. That's not going to be lasting for long as that storm or as that front shifts over. And then in the Seattle area, Washington, Oregon, we have remnants of Anna in this area. So we have a little tropical action going up by Canada and the northwestern United States, something we don't see too often, but this tropical storm Anna was by Hawaii, as you remember, about 4 or 5 days ago. So it's making its way back to the United States. For tonight, you can see the cool temperatures. You can see all these different shades of blue in the northwest area, in Denver, Colorado, 31. In Billings, where one of our FSU alum is 27, so it's very cold there. You're going to need your winter jackets for sure. And as we look into the southeast, where we are more interested in, 53 in Tallahassee. So it's going to be a little mild, but nothing too cold. For tomorrow, we're going to be mild around this area in the south or the northwest, and we're going to be actually quite hot, 87 in Tallahassee. But we're going to get more to that in just a little bit, but we're going to hand this on over to Miss Nikki.
Thank you, Paxton. We're going to go ahead and hop right on into our weather headlines. What is going on right now with most of our weather for this area? We're going to have a foggy start for tomorrow morning, which is going to be nice, though, because when you're driving off to work, you get to see some clouds on the ground, which is one of my favorite things in the world. And I just love it. But for the showers for tomorrow, we're going to see a lot of showers going into Wednesday night. And Thursday morning, we'll start to see those showers again. And this weekend, we actually will have a chilly start as well. So, what's going to happen for the rest of the week? We are going to be seeing water vapor over most of the area. We're going to be seeing drier conditions down in Miami and around Key West. But our area will see some humid conditions for the remainder of this upcoming week. For the current temperatures right now, though, we're looking quite warm for sitting down for dinner. 81 degrees in St. Mark's, 83 in Tallahassee. So most of the 80s across much of the Big Bend region. But these will be dropping as we move into most of the remainder of next week. The winds, though, aren't helping with our humid conditions. We're actually seeing that flow coming right on off of the Gulf. So we have a southerly flow bringing in a lot of moisture. So those sticky, muggy conditions like Paxton was referring to earlier will be sticking around, and the front won't be helping either. Those rain chances will be going up, and we'll start to be really starting to see some moisture lingering around the Tallahassee region. So Futurecast, you can kind of see how those winds begin to change. They shift as the front goes ahead and moves on through the area into Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. But this low pressure system we were talking about that's associated with this front won't be helping our moisture either, but this passing the front is not expected to be coming until Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So as this goes ahead and scoots closer to us, we can see those sunny skies will persist beforehand, but by Wednesday night, we'll be starting to see that front inch its way on over into our area. So as we put this into motion, you can see it starts to head our way, but it kind of slows down as it does reach us by Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. That low pressure system will go ahead and scoot right on up to the South Carolina region and hang on over there for quite some time. The moisture will go ahead and linger, and finally after Thursday morning we'll start to see some drier conditions for Tallahassee area and a cooling of our temperatures. So beach forecast looking quite nice, sitting at 5 to 10 knots, surf at 1 to 2 feet, so nothing too out of the norm. On the water though, if you are taking your boat out, we do have those seas staying nothing too crazy, but there is a late chop if you are going out there, and the sunrise will be remaining at 7:49 a.m. In terms of tonight's forecast, though, we're dropping it down, nothing too crazy, getting down to 55 here in Tallahassee, 54 in Monticello, really just starting to connect the dots, and looking quite nice. For tomorrow's forecast, too, we're getting quite warm, and it's going to be great. So what we're really looking forward to is this cold front that'll be coming into the remainder of this weekend, Shane.
Yes, and now we're going to move on to This Day in Weather History, one of our favorite segments on FSU Weather. And tonight the theme is snow.
Snow, I love snow. Great.
Yes, well, historically, this day has been pretty good for snow in the northern U.S. 250 years ago, what was quoted as a very remarkable storm of snow with high winds brought 22 inches, just short of 2 feet, to Rutland in central Massachusetts.
Do you understand how many snowmen you can make with 22 inches of snow?
A fair number, possibly an army of them.
You can have a snowman family, like a mom, a dad, like a whole bunch of snowmen. That's what I'd be doing. So you make the negative event into a positive event, and you have a snowman family. What else happened?
Well, we also saw a winter storm 50 years ago. Just 1962, New England was blanketed with not as many inches of snow, 16, so you could get not quite your extended snowman family out of that, but a lot of snowman to boot. And now it's time to bring it around Florida where there's not any snow with Casey.
That's right, really nice conditions. In fact, no winter precipitation expected probably for a really long time. Satellite and radar across the region does show those clear conditions very nicely. In fact, we do see a few upper level high clouds that are a little hard to see, but pretty much really just clear weather conditions. Water vapor imagery does paint the picture very nicely. We do see that brown color in the upper levels of the atmosphere showing that drier air that is occurring. This is occurring all the way from Tallahassee to Tampa to Orlando, West Palm Beach. It's really dry, clear, nice weather conditions. Now, going ahead and seeing those temperatures, they are a little bit on the warm side. We got near a record in Tallahassee today. In fact, at the regional airport, we were talking about it earlier, we got up to 88 degrees. The record was 89 degrees, and our average, of course, in the upper 70s, so well above average for sure. We do see the areas to our north and east, though a little bit on the cooler side. We're talking about Jacksonville, 80 degrees in Duval County. Out toward the Panhandle, Pensacola, 75 degrees there. A little bit on the chilly side there, at least compared to some of the other temperatures in the state. Now, humidity, 40% here in Tallahassee. Areas though down to the south and east of the state, the southeast part of the state, they are a little bit higher, meaning the temperatures do feel even warmer. Those temperatures and the warmer conditions are magnified a bit as we get down to West Palm Beach, 58% humidity. Same thing in Miami. So even though it's a little warmer here, it even feels warmer down toward those areas. Now, Futurecast does show a cool front that's going to kind of bring us some relief, though, as we get later into the week. We'll see as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll start to see a front approaching from our northwest. It's sunny right now, but that will change as we get in later into Tuesday, approaching cooler conditions toward the Big Bend region and southwest Georgia. We'll be seeing the cool front moving its way toward us, and that'll bring us a little bit in the way of some precipitation as we get into Wednesday, a slight chance of rain. So if you're walking around campus, you might want to bring an umbrella as we get later into Wednesday night as well. as we could see a chance of some isolated showers and thunderstorms across the Big Bend region. But otherwise, after this front does push through, we'll see nicer conditions, and they'll be even a little bit cooler, and will be a little bit even below average here across the Big Bend region. Now tonight, 57 degrees here in the metro, or in Jacksonville metro area, that is, 53 in our area, and out toward Pensacola, Tampa, there'll be a little bit on the warmer side, 64 in Tampa, 64 up toward areas like Pensacola. Tomorrow, 87 degrees here, a nice but warm day, and as we get into tomorrow night, again, a little bit cool, but not as cool as later in the week, 56 tonight here, or tomorrow night in Tallahassee. But right now, for a tropics look at things, we'll take it over to Shane.
Thanks, Casey. Well, we've had not a very active Atlantic hurricane season this year, but we have had our fair share of named storms, and we've just gotten to our 8th one. Here we go. We take a look at what we've seen so far. From Arthur to Gonzalo, it's been a busy year, and now we've got Tropical Storm Hannah right there off the western or eastern coast of Mexico, I should say, not far from Nicaragua. But before we get to the details on that story, we're going to take a look at this disturbance in the eastern Pacific. It's not yet been given a name. It hasn't even been classified as a tropical depression. It's just a disturbance, which means that the National Hurricane Center is interested in this cell because they believe that it has the potential to develop into a tropical cyclone of some sort. And they've issued the following forecast that there's a 60% chance of formation into a tropical depression within the next 48 hours, and the numbers spike even higher as we move into the next 5 days. They're calling it as high as an 80% chance of development, so we'll definitely have our eyes on that. Now bringing it back closer to home, let's take a look at what Hannah is up to. Hannah is currently sitting here just on shore by Nicaragua, and it's got pressure of 1,005 millibars, so it's not very strong, with winds at 40 miles per hour, and the gusts not even very high, just at 52 miles per hour. And at over 1,000 miles away from Tallahassee, it's not going to pose any threat to us, but we do like to stay up to date on the tropics. And now taking a glimpse at what Hannah's about to do, we're going to see her follow this general path off to the shore and pretty much just fizzle out as she stays over land. As we know, hurricanes don't do very well over land. There's nothing to give them fuel for them to keep surviving. So here's a current satellite of Hannah, and it's just dawdling around on the Nicaragua coast, bringing them lots of rain right now, and that's the primary concern from this system. But otherwise, the Gulf of Mexico is crystal clear right now. Really no areas of tropical weather for us to be concerned about. So let's head back home for a few minutes. Nothing going on over the tri-state region right now either. Temperatures are warm. It's 83 in Tallahassee, 82 up there in Georgia at Macon, and 85 also in Montgomery. So we're really cooking in this autumn heat right now. And tonight it's going to get down to 53 degrees in Tallahassee, 56 in Macon, 61 in Panama City. Nothing much to worry about. In fact, we're going to see tomorrow getting up to 87 degrees in Tallahassee. Another warm one like today. Can you believe it? It's getting on to Halloween, and these temperatures are reminding us of the end of summer. It's actually very impressively warm. 85 also in Gainesville, 84 in Montgomery for what's sure to be a pretty busy, warm day overall, but not to fear that cold front is going to swoop in and cool things back down for the early conditions of next week. And now we're going to bring our attention back to the tropics. Nikki and I have a few more details to report to everyone.
That's right, Shane. You did a great job discussing it, though. But we have more to talk about. Always more to talk about with the tropics, especially while we're during hurricane season.
Yes.
And it's coming to a close quite soon, too, something to be aware of.
Yes. Hurricane season officially ends on November the 30th, which is just over a month from now. Now, that's not to say that we would never see a tropical cyclone after November 30th, but with what's been a pretty inactive year overall, we're pretty safe to say that things are winding down right now.
Exactly. And let's go ahead and talk about exactly what is going on. Besides Hannah, besides this disturbance, we actually saw that over by Hawaii, that system died down too.
Yes, that was Hurricane Ana, which made its way far away from Hawaii off to the northwest and then northeast. And on the national, we saw with Paxton all that rain over Seattle, which is not something that city is unfamiliar with. It's just interesting to note that that is Ana's remnants making a landfall in the northwestern U.S.
Exactly. So they got some rain from it, which is always good, especially since much of the area along the west side of the United States oftentimes experiences some drought. So
Oh yes, for sure. If that system had made landfall, so to speak, a few hundred miles south, California would be really enjoying the rain.
We're going to go ahead and actually send things out, though, now to Donovan for the last look around our local.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're going to bring it back home here to Tallahassee and the Big Bend region. We're looking at futurecast temperatures for here on Monday. It should be around 73. 70s across the board for the area. Now into Tuesday morning, around the 59 area for Tallahassee. Down in Apalachicola, they're reporting maybe 68 degrees. Very warm, but mostly 50s, low 60s for tomorrow morning. Up through Tuesday into the afternoon, after you get out of class and work, it should be around the mid-80s. Here in Tallahassee, even up into the Peach State, they're staying very warm as well. And we're going to take it into Wednesday and ride it out through the end of the day. You can just see where we're just varying quite a bit over a one-day span. We're basically spanning about 20 to 30 degrees sometimes this week. Here's our water vapor. These guys have been talking about drier conditions here until maybe in the next couple of days. And that's what this orange is indicating. And you just see it's just hanging all over Florida, down into Miami, Key West, even in the Bahamas over here. Very dry across the entire Gulf Coast, really. So, but we do expect that to end here in the next couple of days. Our local radar is basically showing, Casey was talking about earlier, some clouds hanging overhead, but basically pretty clear outside. It's a really nice day today. A lot of sunshine, pretty warm again, but at least it wasn't too humid outside. We're going to take this into futurecast temperatures for some of the major cities around the country. 71 in Atlanta for tonight, 78 in Miami. New Orleans is at 72. Dallas has been seeing some really hot weather over the last week. They're at 80 degrees. Up there in Washington, D.C., they're cooling down after they had some bad weather last week. We were talking about all that rain that moved up through that way and that nor'easter up in the northeast. 52 in Boston for tonight, 62 in Detroit. Not a lot of bad things going on, at least. They were talking about the tropics. At least that's pretty far away from us here in the U.S. And this is just spanning across. We got really cooler temperatures out in the west, and that's what that blue indicates. They could be seeing some snow, some frosting. We already saw that in Appalachia, up in areas like North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Kentucky. San Francisco staying at 68, so if they make it back out there for the World Series, they're going to be playing in some pretty warm conditions out there. Let's bring it back here for Tallahassee. Futurecast temperatures for tomorrow night. We're seeing a lot of red and orange out there. For tonight, we're at mid-50s, basically across the board here in the Big Bend region. It's supposed to be clear and very calm outside. A lot of good things going on in the region. For tomorrow, we should be at 86, mid-80s throughout the entire day for the region. A lot of good things. And of course, we're going to do our 7-day forecast. We're staying into the mid-80s for this week, getting into the upper 70s next week with our lows staying very comfortable. Now let's send it back to Shane and Nikki to wrap up the show.
Thank you, Donovan, and I'm looking forward to those cooler temperatures, but I'm especially looking forward to getting one more hour of sleep.
Yes, that's right. This upcoming Sunday morning is when it's our traditional time to fall back, as the expression goes, and set our clocks back 1 hour.
Which that'll be great, so when it's cooler in the morning, maybe you sleep in an extra hour, wake up when it's a little bit more toasty outside.
Yes, for that we have to thank the daylight savings time transition, and I myself definitely need that extra hour of sleep.
I'm sure most of us students here at Florida State can use an extra hour of sleep any day, but 7-day forecast also looking good, so remember, foggy start for tomorrow.
Yes, and then chance of rain midweek, clearing out for what looks to be a gorgeous Halloween. I myself am looking forward to those cooler temperatures. Don't want to be sweating in the heavy costume.
Of course, so make sure you do cover up if you are going out. Make sure you
Yes.
have that appropriate clothing on for Halloween weekend, since it might be a tad bit chilly or two.
Yes, now if you like us, you can follow us on Facebook or twitter.com/FSU Weather, or watch anytime on livestream.com/FSU Weather.
Which I'm sure most people want to watch, because why not? Everyone loves weather, right?
Yeah, you can also check us out on Instagram, and we have our own YouTube channel.
That's
so
right.
we're there on social media if you ever want to see us. So thanks for tuning in this Monday night. I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton.
I'm student meteorologist Nikki Perrini. Have a great night.